So even before COVID hit, you were on a planned break to spend more time with your family. You have 4 kids, right?
I do have 4 kids, 18-month-old little boy Valentine, and then Gia and Coco, 4-year-old twins, and Arrow, who is 9, turning 9.
So which is easier, being out on tour doing a different date every night, or being home with 4 kids? Or which is harder?
They both bear their own challenges and rewards. I will say that I have absolutely loved being at home every day with my kids, just walking the dog, taking my little girl to school every day, and being a normal as I can dad, and in Las Vegas, which is the city I grew up in, and still live in, and I love it. Fatherhood has been the most joyous part of my life, for sure.
Well, just FYI, I will be in Las Vegas June 24th. If you want to come hang out, I'll be at the Wynn.
Oh, nice. The Wynn is amazing.
I've never stayed there, so I'm excited.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. I've been there many times, and it may be the best in Vegas. You may be experiencing the best hotel in Vegas. It is definitely up there, if not the best.
That's kind of what I've read, so I'm excited. This is not at all what I plan to talk about, but I'm just curious, as a local, do you go to the casinos very often?
Yeah, here and there. Growing up in a very religious Mormon family, I didn't go that often, but as I've gotten older and become a wild, rebellious child, I ventured onto the strip. And it's just here and there. It's mainly when friends are visiting and they're like, hey, and we're like, well, let's go out and we play blackjack or something. And
so you're a perfect tour guide.
Food. Yeah. There's more Michelin star rated restaurants in Las Vegas than anywhere in the world.
That's mostly what I care about. I'm a foodie more than a gambler, so I'm super excited about that.
You and me both, yes.
Well, let's get back to business here. You've released new music for the first time since 2018. We're loving both the tracks you've released so far for the upcoming album, Cutthroat and Follow You. Now, I'm not sure everybody knows this about you, Dan, but you are a classically trained pianist, right?
Yeah.
And in some of your songs, I noticed particularly in Follow You, there are classical elements. Some of the, is that intentional, or is that just happening?
I wouldn't say it's intentional. I think melodically, and this isn't even something that I really noticed until recently, but as I grow older and I reflect on the music I've written, I think I'm just inclined to write melodically in classical ways, just because it was such, I took piano lessons from 6 to 16. It was like Beethoven, Bach, Chopin, all just the classical things. And there's a lot of melodic kind of intervals that goes on when writing these melodies, at least when you're listening to these classical songs, whether it's, whatever it is, it's all throughout the classics. And so I think subconsciously it just happens. And I definitely think Follow You, it definitely shows, it rears its head in that kind of it's that kind of interval kind of melody writing.
And I got to tell you something about that song. We have new music meetings every week here at Kink with the team. We listen to new music that's available. And we decide, what fits our radio station, what may not. And when all of us, we heard Follow You, I just loved that song from the get-go.
Oh, thank you.
I wish it was longer. The radio version we play could be a little bit longer.
We're putting out a version here soon that's an alternate version that's the band. Literally, we just got in a studio together and played it all live and recorded it. And it is a little bit longer and has some frills to it. So it should be fun. We'll be putting
awesome. Yeah. I think I read somewhere that you write like a new song every day. You write a demo every day?
Yeah, I'd say like 60% of the days I write a new song. I started writing when I was about 12 years old, and it's been my journal. So it's part of, when I started therapy at a very young age, was dealing with a lot of depression. And one of the things they said was write in a journal. And I did it here and there, but I didn't enjoy it as much as just capturing my journal entry through a melody. It was more enjoyable for me and building it from the ground up. And so I've done that. It's a habit of my life. When I don't write, I feel like my mental health is not as good as it could be. So it's just part of my everyday life. We wrote over, I think I wrote over 300 demos for this record, and then it ggets narrowed down to like 20. And
how on earth do you go through 300 demos and whittle it down to just 20?
So every day when I write one, at the end when I finish it, and I typically always finish it within a day. I don't like to write songs over a week's time. It's never been my thing. But I'll finish it and then I'll send it out to all of the band. So they get an email from me almost every day, and everybody listens to it at some point and responds, I like this, I didn't like this. These are things I thought about it. So then when it comes time for the record, everybody has been listening and combing through them and playing them for friends and stuff, and living with them for a couple years. And in this case, 2.5 years, which was a long time for us. And we then get together and everybody talks about, well, this one really sat with me well, and these are the reasons why, and these are the themes that I kind of felt like you were singing about a lot, and these work together. And we kind of, and then we got into the studio with Rick Rubin, who was the producer, and Rick. I only gave Rick about 100 of these demos to choose from, which I think he was like, send me some music. I think he's expecting like 8 demos or something, but I sent him 100 songs, and we went through all of them. And he also had a lot to say and listened to every single one. And so then we all kind of narrowed it down, and that's kind of how it works. Yeah.
And this is legendary producer Rick Rubin. Is this the first time Imagine Dragons have worked with Rick?
It is. Yeah. Rick was definitely involved with a lot of my favorite records growing up. And so it's our 5th record. We wanted to challenge ourselves and do something different. And Rick's name kept coming up, and we were talking about kind of dream producers, and we reached out to him, and he wanted to do it. And the rest is history. So yeah,
Must
we're
have been
on
a bit,
the record now, actually. It's being mixed.
must have been a bit intimidating, I would think, working with Rick Rubin.
Yeah. His energy is, it's I think he's more intimidating in picture than he is in person. Even on Zoom, his energy was just so light and kind, but he's very honest. If he does not like something, he will tell you he does not like it, and he'll tell you the reasons why. And it's always with grace, but it's always, he's one of those people that it's refreshingly honest. Always. He is authentically himself. He love him or hate him or whatever he's saying to you, it's, that it's his truth. And I always gravitate towards people like that. A lot of my best friends are like that. My wife is like that. My grandmother, was one of the most important figures in my life growing up, was very much like that. So I just identify with that. Yeah.
And you said recently, speaking of honesty, one of the most important things for you these days when it comes to songwriting is writing less metaphorically and just putting it out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's been one of the most important lessons that I feel like I've learned. And Rick actually also enforced that on me. And he would often, one of his line that he would say to me the most when it came to lyric writing was, he would say, "I don't believe you when you said that."
Wow.
So he'd listen to a demo, or even if I sang something live in the studio, he'd say, "Yeah, I don't believe that." I would say, "Well, what do you mean? I'm writing it, right? I'm saying it, and I mean what I'm saying here. I think I mean it, And he would say, "Well, it's just not translating to me in that way." And so that was it was an important thing that happened, and I hope that it reflects it in the music. This is, I believe, our most honest record, for better or for worse, and that's what I'm most concerned with as I get older, is just honesty, right? I'm gonna die soon, and so for me, yeah, I guess not. Well, that sounds so morbid, but
Well, we are.
getting older. We're all gonna die, right? We're gonna die at some point. It's inevitable. And all I care is that I left my honest imprint. That's it. I don't need anything more than that. As long as I'm leaving my honest imprint, then that's all that you could do.
Dan, you are certainly an artist who gives back to causes that are important to you. And you're probably tired of talking about this. I know you didn't do it for people to pat you on the back, but you and your wife, Asia, recently donated your childhood home, which I should mention, it's not some shack. It was worth over $1 million. And you donated to a wonderful organization called Encircle. So why is this cause so important to you? I'm a gay man, and I know all about this organization, and I just can't thank you enough for just continuing to have our backs and to wave our flag. But explain what Encircle is and why that's important to you personally.
Well, Encircle is one of the, in my opinion, like, because of Love Loud and the work that we've done with Love Loud, Love Loud is an umbrella charity, for those who don't know, that me and my wife started, and basically it raises money and then distributes it to all these incredible LGBTQ organizations that do all kinds of work, whether it's Tegan and Sarah or Trevor Project or all these life-saving charities. But one of those is Encircle, and we were able to see the day-to-day of the money that comes in, the money that goes out, how clean it is. Not every charity exists on the same level of cleanliness, where it's like they're just, they're about it. Encircle is about it. They save lives of kids. They haven't lost one kid through their therapy that they offer to these families to suicide. And that's a huge deal, because, as we know, our LGBTQ youth are highly at risk. And it's not due to them. It's due to our society that is broken and needs to be fixed. But anyway, so getting to see that every day, I was like, when my mom and dad said they were selling their home, sounds crazy, but I had a dream. I literally had a dream that I bought this house and gave it to Encircle. And I woke up and I told my wife, I was like, "Is this crazy?" And she was like, and we both were in tears. And we were like, "No, I think it's like, there's some God or something." And I don't ever, I'm not the most religious person, but if there's something, then you had a dream, let's do it, and then we did it. And it's going to open in the next year. And it was always a house of love and acceptance for me growing up. So it's just excited to be able to give back in some way to Las Vegas.
I can't imagine the memories you must have in that house, because you're the seventh of 9 kids, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes. So
I have 30 seconds left with you. I got to ask, do you guys all get together in normal times for like celebrations?
we get together every single week. On Sunday nights, we since COVID has happened, we've done it outdoors, and we just make pizza, and we've done that since I was born. Every Sunday, we all get together and make pizza, and that's been a tradition in our family. And will probably lead to my death for eating so much pizza, but we all love it, and we make it from scratch. And my mom makes the dough, and we make the pizza sauce together. It's very traditional for our family, and so yeah, I want to carry that tradition on, actually, at the Encircle home in Las Vegas with the kids. Is every Sunday to get together and make pizzas is one of the things I want to do.
This is very good news, because as I mentioned, I'll be in Vegas starting June 24th, and I am in Vegas over a Sunday. So I'll come by.
Come by and get some pizza.
Dan Reynolds, you are such a great guy. I love talking to you, and I love the new music. Looking forward to the album. Do you have a release date yet?
We do, but the band would kill me if I told you. So I can
Please
tell
don't tell me.
you sooner rather than later. It's all completely just being mixed. So
Awesome. Stay safe, my friend.
thank you. You as well.
Thanks again.
Take care.
You too.